Welcome to the Digitally Dreaming Off the Gridiron podcast. I'm your host, Asif Ali. I'm joined today by the co-host with the most, my fellow number
Oh yeah.
81, the number one target. Y'all already know him from IG, and if you don't, go check him out at
Oh
Aram
yeah.
My boy, Aram
Yeah.
Kennard. Aaron, how you doing today, big dog?
I'm doing great, brother. We had a great day earlier.
Yes, sir.
Hitting the
Yes,
gridiron, like old times, man.
like
So
old
that
times,
always brings
baby.
back those good nostalgic memories, how we used to get out there. So just had a
Yeah,
great President's Day because of that, day off. Got to hit the field, get a little exercise in, get our core workouts, all that, get our
yes.
cardio and our stamina up. So yeah,
You
it was
might
great today.
you might recognize that jersey because you wore that jersey, but that's my now it's in the frame. As
Yeah, the
long,
Falcon jersey.
yeah, let me just
Yeah.
give you a kind of little 360.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Love it.
love it. Yeah, and let me show you the top. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah. The legend up there, man.
yes sir.
That's you.
Appreciate you, big dog. So yeah, bro. I mean, yeah, great day today. Great work, on your end. Obviously our reel is getting some views. So we'll see how many. We'll see how many. Somehow the reel I just posted on IG that basically got shared to Facebook. I don't even have Facebook right now, so I don't know how
Oh
it got
wow.
shared to Facebook. But that's how it's getting steam from people who I don't
Yeah,
even know. So
that's nice.
yeah, yeah. So obviously, even if people who we do know don't like our videos, I mean, fuck y'all. Someone else can like
Yeah.
it.
Screw 'em, bro.
Welcome.
You know how it is.
Yes, sir. So yeah, man, it's been a while since you've been on the show. It's obviously, like you said, it's been over a year. We got out there like old times, like we talked about. But
Yes,
essentially,
sir.
now let me first ask you, what have you been up to for the past year? I obviously took a 9 month break from social media for my own personal reasons. What have you personally been up to as well, since we last connected on this
Um,
platform?
so just like you, I also took a hiatus from social media, all
Mhm.
social media platforms that I previously had, such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I got rid of all of them. I was in a relationship, so that was something new for me last year, at the start of last year. And throughout the year, I found myself doing all sorts of various things. One, with work getting slow, especially with COVID, as an iron worker in the union, I actually stepped out and I started doing side work. I picked up a side job as a plumber, and that was just a way for me to learn and gain another skill and another trade. So that was like a great experience. Honestly, it was at a time when I was out of work, and I had been out of work for a while as an iron worker. So I was starting to contemplate my future in the trade, how my longevity, how long the work was going to last, how long my job security would last. So I was struggling with that, and then somehow the doors opened to me, and I was praying for doors, or praying for some answers or guidance, and I felt like God led me into plumbing, and that's something I was always interested in. So that was just an awesome little gig I had picked up, and I was getting paid under the table, and I was making great money at that time, like almost, really, it was like better than the union. I was getting paid less, but because it was under the table without the taxes and all that, I was making the same money, just as good as like being in the union,
Yeah.
So it was great. The guys even wanted to give me a truck. They really liked my work, my ethic, everything. They wanted to give me a company truck so I could stay with the company. But I had gotten a job call back from the union to work on the Golden Gate Bridge. And as I told them, that was one of the biggest opportunities I have come across in the union. So I was like, the Golden Gate Bridge is known across the world. It's worldwide. It's recognized. So I was like, everybody knows about that around the world. So I was like, to work on that, to say I worked on that, I was like, I got to take that opportunity, and they understood. So I went and did that, and it was a short kind of gig because I ended up breaking my finger out there, and I worked through that for 3 weeks. But when I told the bosses, it kind of created a conflict at work with us. So I took 2 weeks off, to recover from that injury. And by the time I went back to work, they kind of had it out for me. And there was that kind of conflict with them as well. And since then, I've just been finding myself back in the union, back as an iron worker, and just trying to maintain and hold steady with the work. And I got out of that relationship, so that's another thing. That was a positive, because I started to realize how much that was weighing me down, and I definitely needed to take a step back. So yeah, and that's where I've been, just trying to work and just trying to stepping back from that relationship, just trying to reevaluate my life and trying to prioritize my goals and everything that I need to do for myself.
100%. No, and I appreciate you kind of, being transparent about that, right? Obviously, like you said, reprioritizing and reevaluating, I think is critical to self-development, I do think
Yeah,
also kind of, with your experience in plumbing, you kind of learn from that experience, kind of, you know, what it takes, right? And also, but obviously, I think, if your fortunes were reversed, it is what it is. I mean, it's a great learning experience, something that you can add to your toolkit. And
yeah,
also, obviously personal relationships, I think a lot of these things, it's funny. There's so many parallels that cut across, our personal and professional lives that, I mean, when you think about it, even for me, right? It's just like I look at it, I'm like, wow, like, all these different things, whether it's football, whether it's my current world in technology consulting, whatever it is, I mean, whether it's me speaking, I'm actually going to be speaking, I believe this Wednesday, at another virtual summit. So, I mean,
okay,
it does, I mean, these are, and I've been doing that, I've been involved with that, since I took my hiatus, right? I mean, I've been kind of really kind of getting networking outside of social media in terms of like personal social media, but obviously, like,
yeah,
really focusing on myself and really helping kind of expand my, obviously my actual career, outside of football, right? So
yeah,
essentially, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think a break is necessary. I think our generation, like, we are so hung up in how we're perceived and what we post on social media and kind of, what I mean, and obviously it is an outlet. I'm not going to say, it's not. It
yeah,
is a great outlet. It's great to be connected, right? Obviously, like, we reconnected thanks to it, because, for whatever reason, I mean, we just we couldn't be connected, right? But outside of that, I mean, I just wanted to kind of bring that point forward because I do think, a break is sometimes necessary. I think it's necessary.
yeah, yeah. Especially from social media, especially for the younger generations who can get caught up in the storm of what this all seems, and like, the 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 perceived side of it,
The perception, yeah.
yeah, yeah, how we want to take things, how it makes us feel.
Totally agree. Totally agree. That's a great way to
And
start.
that's all ego related. But since I've come back onto social media, and it was only at the end of last year, so I
Yeah.
haven't even been on there for more than half a year since. Um, and I've also started to notice some of those patterns. Like, wow, like I get caught up right back into, like, just trying to show like almost like a double life,
Yeah.
and it's like kind of makes me like I started to realize why I stepped away from it, and why that was such a good thing, you know, like I like because when you ask me the question of what I've been up to, and then actually being able to explain it, and then wow, like looking back on it too, like wow, like as tumultuous as the year of 2021 seemed, especially with me like being in that relationship, and that was what was most rocky for me throughout the year. But beyond that, I mean, some of just the experiences and the opportunities I came across were just magnificent,
Yeah.
like, and I wouldn't trade that in for anything, and I wouldn't like do anything different. I got to work on the Golden Gate Bridge. I took a trip out to Texas with a buddy of mine who started his own moving company, and we did that strictly and solely for his moving company. That was like a big thing, like a cross country uh move. That was huge for us. And I was just fortunate and grateful to be a part of that. You know, and so things like that, like those little moments like that, like beyond like just 2021 was just great. Wouldn't take it back for nothing. So and I
100%.
did all that without social media, and that was the
Right.
biggest thing. That was the biggest thing, and I
Yeah.
don't think that any of that would have happened if I was on social media, because I probably would have stayed stagnant, still been caught up in like, what I'm posting or what I'm, instead of actually making those moves that I need to make in my personal life. So yeah.
And it's funny because you know what? I'm actually considering maybe even pulling the plug again. That's why that's why I asked the question because I'm just like I'm thinking about what you just said, and I'm thinking about what my own kind of my own career growth, my own personal development outside of social media since taking the hiatus, right? And also kind of like I said, getting involved with so many different kind of things. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems counterintuitive. Obviously, like at our age, I mean, we want to maximize our time, right? Because we want to try to
Yeah.
use what we can and as many experiences as we can. I mean, we're still young, but essentially, I mean, it's just like I mean, like how many opportunities will we get for that, right? So
Yeah.
I think these are just types of things to really consider, and I think yeah, it's a good way to kind of start off. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and also start off with kind of I think we want to talk about your because I have not done an actual Super Bowl episode yet. It's long overdue, and
Oh yeah.
obviously yeah. So whenever I mean, I think yeah, and last week when we hit Cal State's Bay, you called the winner, you called the Rams winning the Super Bowl. So I mean,
Yeah. And I feel like around that time too, I was just running off of a lot of momentum. I was just feeling like invigorated at the time, just feeling like a surge of energy, feeling ready to just tackle on a new year. Like we were just coming into February, still just only a second month into the year. So I was like, man, like got a lot more of the year to come. And I was just feeling like just ready to take it all on. And because of that, and I started posting this stuff on Instagram, which made it like sink in even more. Like when I started like really like taking it in, I'm like, yeah, my dad, he's from LA. Like that's why he's rooting for the Rams. And I'm like, yeah, I'm rooting for the Rams too. My name is Aram, wow, what that's why I pretty much got named Aram, because he loved the Rams, and I'm a Ram.
no freaking
So
way.
it was kind of funny that I made those connections. And when I made those connections, that's when I was like, oh yeah, like that's when I was like, I gotta see them win. If they win, like this means more for me. And that's why I called it. And it's funny that I called it. And fortunately enough, they pulled it off. Like you don't know how many years I always try to call the Super Bowl, right? We all do, right?
Yeah.
there's so many more years that I get it wrong than right. But this one like was a big deal. This one was like special for me. Like I was like, yeah, I called it and got it right. And with everything, like I said, the Rams, that's my dad's team. So it meant something. It meant something to see them win. I don't
Congrat-
hold grudges, especially as like, a Niners fan. And you know how that is, not just for the Niners and against the Rams. It's like that across the board for SF and LA. That's just that Southern Cali, Northern California rivalry, the Bay and LA, San Francisco and LA. So I don't hold any grudges or any hostility towards LA. So it's all love, still California. I'm the California kid, so it was just great to see for the state.
Big facts because obviously, since I mean, before this win, the last California team to win the Super Bowl was the 49ers in 95. Like
Yeah,
27
that's been a
years.
long time.
A
Yeah,
long time, right? And so
yeah.
obviously, like, it is definitely great for the state. And now I'm going to actually kind of go on my little soliloquy about my history with the Rams and actually attending their games. So,
Okay.
since
I
yes,
remember. Yeah, you have been down there to LA
I've been to LA, so let's go and start from the beginning.
with the
2017,
game.
Sean McVay was hired as head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. He was dealing with the first, he was dealing with the first overall pick, Jared Goff in the previous year's draft. Aaron Donald, who he inherited,
Yep.
and obviously a very young team, and also Cooper Kupp, who he drafted that year. Essentially, that team. When I went to go watch them, I watched them twice in Sean McVay's rookie year. I watched them twice. I watched them when they came up here at Levi's on Thursday Night Football to play the 49ers, and I also watched them when they went down to Seattle or when Seattle went down to LA to go play them at the
Mm,
previous stadium at LA Coliseum, which is obviously the Trojan Stadium, right? And
yeah.
so I mean USC Stadium. Shout out to Lofa Tupu, who's a guest on the show, one of my good friends. He obviously played and coached there against the Rams, and he lost to that team, right?
Yeah.
So but yeah. Anyways, continuing onwards. So back to the point. So basically, with the Rams season, 2017, 20, and with Sean McVay, with the whole staff, with everything, when they came up here to play the Niners, that game went down to the wire, went to overtime. The final score was
Mm,
41-39. It set the record for most points scored on Thursday Night Football with 82 points combined from both teams. Okay.
yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
Yeah, no, you definitely remember that one, right? And then when I went to go see them play in LA, I think the Seattle game was first. It was earlier in the season. When Seahawks went down to LA to go play the Rams, it came down to the final. I mean, it was back and forth. Jared Goff threw a pick straight to Earl Thomas. Then basically, Russell Wilson wasn't having a great game. It came down to the last play, which was a Jared Goff pass to Cooper Cup. It was a tough pass, but I was sitting right in the end zone, like kind of right behind where Cooper Cup extended his arms to grab the ball, and he was right there. Like it literally went. I remember so much. He went like this, kind of like how you do when we go out the field. Went like this,
yeah,
right, and the ball just slid off his fingertips. And then
yeah.
obviously, I mean, could you imagine how that stadium would have been? Let me just kind of describe the atmosphere
Oh
of
yeah, the
LA
eruption.
Coliseum when I was there. Okay,
So fire.
it's crazy,
Well, now it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what happened was these LA fans. I mean, I had never seen before, but they
See,
are.
I've never been down there, so I've never got to experience like how is the crowd compared to the San Francisco? Like,
You
how
know
are the
what?
LA crowds? How is it?
They are literally some of the most craziest, rowdiest fans you will ever encounter. I mean, I remember there
Yeah.
were multiple times throughout the game. One fan basically, I mean, with the Seahawks fans sitting in their areas, the Rams fans, there were almost four fights that broke out.
Wow.
Actually, one fight broke out for sure. Another fight was about to break out between a guy behind me who was a Seahawks fan and a guy 3 rows back with his wife who was a Rams fan. They were basically shouting at each other, and then
Oh
the guy in
no.
front of me, wearing a Rams jersey, he turns around and he looks at the guy and he says, "Hey, it's not worth it, man." He sticks out his hand, and what is it? It's basically an LAPD badge. He says it's not worth it, man. He was basically trying
No
to
way.
yeah, he was a cop
Ah, dang.
who was there for that purpose. And then to continue onwards later in the fourth quarter, when the Seahawks, when Cooper Cup didn't catch it, some Rams fan walked next to our aisle because I was sitting next to a bunch of Seahawks fans, and he basically said he said Rams house, bitch, and then he said fuck the fucking Seahawks. This is the Rams house, bitch, to our whole aisle, and then the Seahawks fans
Damn.
next to me, they're like, stay classy. Right? I mean, and it was just like,
Yeah,
oh my god.
you
I
got
mean,
to.
like, it was just like
Yeah.
wow. Like, I mean, like, LA fans are some of the craziest fans. I knew when I went down to watch the Lakers play, or went to Kobe night 2 years ago, right after the helicopter crash. But I'd never been in an atmosphere like that. Even I've been to Raiders games too, right? But like, I've never been to an
Yeah. And
atmosphere.
football is totally different.
Yeah, I've never been to an atmosphere where literally it's so hostile and so chaotic, and the fans are so
Yeah.
crazy for their team. You know,
Yeah.
mind you, this is before SoFi even was in existence. They're
Hmm.
playing in USC's Coliseum, a college stadium,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
still going
So it's not
crazy for their
even their real
yeah,
home turf,
yeah.
or their home arena.
They're going crazy for their team in this home arena, and it's just it's insane. So, I mean, I'm not gonna even say LA fans are bandwagons. No, no. I mean, LA fans are some of the craziest and most dedicated, diehard fans, that you'll ever encounter. And it wasn't until I actually went out
Yeah.
there and saw it firsthand. Obviously, like, I mean, when I played in the Arena League, I mean, we didn't actually go play down to LA. There was a team in Ontario, in Riverside. I mean, the Ontario Warriors. I mean,
Yeah.
they came up here to play, but I mean, and we went down there one time for a scrimmage, but we didn't actually go to LA, downtown LA, because there weren't any teams in downtown LA, right? And so
Yeah.
obviously, like, when you're there, you're just like, holy shit. Like, you're like, holy fuck, like, and I mean, it's crazy. It's awesome from that end. I mean, it's a blessing and curse because I mean, like, you don't want to see fans like, curse at each other and start fights, right? But I mean, like, and then moving onwards, obviously, like, I got to see Russell Wilson when he came to play Seattle. When I got to see the NFC West, like, I got to see Jimmy Garoppolo also make his first start that year when I moved to Chicago against the Bears, against his former hometown team, right?
Okay.
And so basically, I got to see like these two up and coming teams. So the next season, after I went to go see the Rams play the Niners and see them play the Seahawks, they made the Super Bowl, and I also got to see the Patriots play the Bears that year. The Patriots ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. They beat the Rams 13-3 in the Super Bowl. But I mean that Rams team, the Bears beat the Rams, but the Rams they almost beat the Saints. Or sorry, no, they almost the Rams almost got very close to. I mean, I almost thought the Rams. I mean, like if they would have just executed a little bit better on offense, maybe we could have seen a different
Yeah.
kind of situation in Super Bowl 53. But at the end of the day, the Patriots, they did what they did. So it was. Oh, I mean, it was a pleasure for me to be a part of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick's final Super Bowl together, or at least just be witness to that. During the regular season, right in Chicago at Soldier Field. But I mean,
Yeah.
just as a non-objective fan, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it's just the Rams. I mean, they could have done better. Now we fast forward 2 years later to now, right? Or 3 years later, actually, to now. The 49ers and the Rams in the AFC Championship game, right? I mean, it's just like, I mean, the Niners are in the Cinderella story run. The Rams have obviously mortgaged their entire
And
future
they had beat them in the suit. They had the Niners had beat the Rams in the regular season, so
twice.
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 So that's why I was feeling like a little confident that they were gonna have it.
The issue for me was that I did not feel completely confident that the Niners would win it up until the game day. Then I felt confident up and leading the days leading up until game day. I didn't feel confident because I knew how good this Rams team was. Like I knew that when they went to Tampa Bay and beat Tom Brady, like
Yeah, they were definitely picking up momentum,
they were definitely picking up momentum. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, not saying that not, and
especially on their defense.
that's the thing, what I mean? Like, and the defense is kind of their identity, right? But Stafford and the
Yeah,
offense, they kind of redefined what their identity was this year with Cooper Kupp winning the Triple Crown. OBJ
yeah,
obviously, and Cam Akers, doing what he does out of the backfield, right? I mean,
yeah,
they're like a three-headed monster. And so,
yeah,
obviously, like, I did not feel complete confident because we had won these games. The Niners had beat the Cowboys, but they almost lost that game. They beat the Packers, but they couldn't score a single offensive touchdown. So I was thinking, we're going to go into a divisional rival's house, and we're expected to beat them. Obviously, we're 6-0 against the Rams heading into that game. So Jimmy was 6-0 against the Rams. Kyle Shanahan was 6-0 against Sean McVay heading into the NFC Championship game this year, right? Now, with that in mind, obviously, like I said, everything that you have to consider with the momentum the Rams are bringing, your point, right? The momentum the Rams are bringing on defense or building on defense, right? That left me kind of like, okay, it's a pick'em. It's a pick'em situation where it's like, you know, I was just riding the momentum. I was hoping the Niners could do it, and then at the end of it, we saw what happened in the fourth quarter. Came down to Jimmy,
yeah.
Troy Aikman,
But they had it. They had it. I mean, going into the fourth, they did have it.
they had it 100%. Parsa and I were watching that game
They
at
had a lead
Applebee's,
and
and
everything, but
yeah, no, they could have. They literally they had the game in the palm of their hand, man. I didn't understand. What I mean? But essentially, the better team won, right? And the Super Bowl was
yeah,
evidence of that. So the whole point of me giving you this history, the whole point, any listeners and viewers out there, obviously all my listeners and viewers, the reason why I'm giving you guys this history is because from seeing how the Rams came into fruition to seeing where they've evolved now, it is just
yeah,
fucking remarkable. I mean, it's almost like
yeah. The
you
complete
know,
turnaround coming
complete
from
turn.
St. Louis to LA. They got Sean McVay, new coaching staff, everything like that. The new
Now we
key
can
pickups.
now we can get a Super
Yeah,
Bowl, right? Obviously, last week I was feeling confident again, kind of like I was feeling confident that Joe Burrow and the Bengals are right momentum, but you obviously picked the Rams because of your history, and
yeah.
I just thought that with Joe Burrow, with T Higgins, with Jamar Chase, that defense, they've been underdogged in every single game,
And I
leading.
liked them. They did look nice. They looked nice throughout the whole year. Like they were an
Yeah,
underdog coming into the Super Bowl, but there was a reason why they got to the Super Bowl,
there's a
and they
reason
had
why they
definitely earned it. Their defense was, I mean, the way they had to beat the Chiefs just to get into the Super Bowl, that was
was
remarkable.
remarkable,
And
right?
they held and they did that at Arrowhead Stadium. They held the Chiefs almost like scoreless in the second half. Like
Yeah.
came back. Like
Held
yeah,
them to 3 points at Arrowhead, which has never been done in the playoffs under Patrick
yeah,
Mahomes and Andy Reid. You know,
that's crazy.
that's crazy, right? And so I mean, that's exactly the point. I mean, like I just believed in the Bengals, and I mean, it wasn't a bad pick, right? Because I thought, hey, like and they got very close to winning the Super Bowl. You know, they got very close
Hmm.
to winning the Super Bowl, but you know, at the end of the day, just like the Niners game, the NFC Championship game, the Bear team won. You know, I mean, the Bengals went on their flurry in the third quarter, but you know, the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl, and all critical football games, any football game actually, those playoff games, they're won in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
so if you can't
When
mount
it comes
any
all down to the
offense,
wire.
same thing with the 49ers, same thing with the Bengals. I saw the same thing repeat. You know, in the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, two teams which were held scoreless by a superior Rams defense. Like that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man, just I remember just the play that the play they had to make the play Aaron Donald made to to stop the run on the 1 yard line. That was wow. That was impressive. He just did that with one arm while he had to hold off another like a defender. Like that was impressive. Like
Yeah.
so, I like how they came up. You know, I like
You're
how
talking
they
about the
won
NFC
it and
Championship
sealed
game.
it.
You're talking about the NFC Championship game, or you're talking about the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
that was impressive to me.
and obviously the game clinching play where he basically sacks Joe Burrow. You know,
Yeah, that
on,
one. Yeah,
on the fourth down,
chased him down.
and then he goes like this.
On the broken finger. Yeah,
Yeah. Time for the ring. Give me the
got the
ring.
ring. Yep,
Yes, sir. The ring
my
finger. So
time.
yeah. I mean, I look at it from two lenses, right? I look at it from a salty ass Niners fan, and I'm just like, why the fuck are the Niners still a Super Bowl-less for the past 28 years? But then I look at it from the perspective of just a California sports fan and a football fan. It's great. Matt Stafford, OBJ, Von Miller.
Yeah, Matt's like and my father was saying that for the longest. He said Matt Stafford deserves it. Even when Matt Stafford was in Detroit and he was playing with the Lions and he played for a lot of horrible teams down that stretch for a
Well,
whole decade.
the only team he played for was the Lions, and they were the worst team in the NFL. So
Yeah, I
I mean,
remember when they went
0-16.
winless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Bro, we were like 17, 18 years old when that happened, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken. Yeah.
dang.
Calvin
No, but my
Johnson.
father, even when he was in Detroit, he said, "Man, Matt Stafford is just one of those quarterbacks that has the skill that and the talent that like if he was on a team like that was competitive, like he should have one under his belt. He got
Right.
one,
Right.
so that was good to see. And not only that, but also like just the road to the Super Bowl this year was pretty remarkable in itself. You had 3 wild card games that came down to being won by 3 points.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those games were all close, all very, very competitive and very concise. So yeah, that was good. That was good playoff runs for a lot of the teams. And we got to see the Bengals. They were in it for more than like 30 years. So good story for the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah, obviously the last NFL guest from 2 days ago, Tremaine Mack. You know, he is obviously a Cincinnati special teams legend. You know, and so we had a good conversation when he was on the podcast. You know, 75th episode of the podcast, right? And so he said the same thing exactly what you just said. He said basically the Bengals and Cincinnati and all of his friends and teammates and anyone else who's associated with the organization, they should not feel bad about this loss. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, it's incredible the run, right? The run, and that's what I've learned in the past decade as a Niners fan. Again, back to being a Niners fan, right? I mean, we were undefeated in the Super Bowl, 5-0, right? And then Kaepernick
yeah,
comes, and then we're able to get back in it, but then we lose. Does that invalidate our entire season? No, because we're relevant again,
yeah,
right? Jimmy Garoppolo comes, we get back in it 7 years later. We lose. Does that invalidate the whole season? No, because we are the first seed in the NFC. And
yeah,
again, we are irrelevant again, right? You have to respect the team that won the NFC. And then now, fast forward, we made the NFC Championship game. We lost. Does it suck? Yes. Do I wish they won? Of course. But do I think that they have a shot to get back there? Of course they do, because with Trey Lance, it's going to be a completely different dynamic to the offense. You know, I
yeah,
mean, I really am looking forward to the Niners' future. You know, that's not to say that the Rams aren't still a favorite and they can definitely run it back. You know, Sean McVay has resigned, Aaron Donald, it doesn't look like he's going to retire. It sounds like it, right? So, I mean, they're looking like the team that can probably run it back. But I do think the Niners, if we can make the right choices, everyone's saying we should make a move for Tom Brady and Rodgers. Sure, go for it. But I mean, if we can
Yeah,
just stick to some of the fundamentals down football, maybe we'll be able to do it. I don't know. Trey Lance is a second-year player. Not too many second-year players have won a Super Bowl. So I mean, we'll see. So
I like the potential he brings, Trey Lance.
yeah,
Um, and I like to see him get more play time and show what he's made out of. For me, he has a lot of potential, and he's a up and rising star to come. So if they can use him right, and grow, if he can grow from that, yeah. I put the game in his hands, though.
I
That
would
would be
too.
my pick in the future. Yeah,
No, I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you. No, I do think he has. He showed flashes this year with the limited amount of film that we were able to get on him. Right. He showed that
yeah,
he can really make some play magic happen. So let's say
yeah.
one more year, full playbook, full training camp, full OTAs. Let's see. Maybe he'll be ready.
Yeah,
So it'll be interesting.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Super Bowl. Kudos to the Rams. I'm not salty. I'm happy for those players. I'm salty as a Niners fan more than anything else, but I'm not mad at the Rams because the Rams went out there and they won the game. I'm mad at the fact that the Niners just can't get over that proverbial hump. Like we can
Yeah,
get
they
close.
let it just slip between their fingers once
Yeah,
again.
literally. And once again, exactly.
So
Let's
close
slip.
yet so far.
Yeah, I mean, and to that point, like it's just like I mean, like I can't hate football. You know what I mean? Because when you start hating football, then you really have to question yourself because of why you're hating football. Football is for entertainment, right?
Yeah,
But I'm just like, man, like it's hard for me to sit here and just like watch the 49ers if they cannot like realize their potential. I'm a diehard fan. I'm going to watch them, right? But it's like they literally I feel like, this is a team that could literally they could easily have 7, 8 Super Bowls by now, right? But because of I mean, if football, hey man, that just shows you how competitive the NFL is, right? The
yeah,
Seahawks, the Ravens, right? The Chiefs in that fourth quarter comeback, the Rams this year, right? The Giants the
yeah,
first year. I mean, 5 NFC Championship game appearances, right? 2 wins in those NFC Championship games, and 2 Super Bowls, right? One of which was decided by 3 points or less. The other one, they were leading with 10 points with 8.5 or 8 minutes 53 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So it's like, man, it's a blessing and a curse to be a Niners fan. That's it.
yeah, yeah. I know how it is.
Yes, sir. Talk about other things. Let's see. The NBA All-Star Game yesterday. NBA 75th anniversary team, 45 to 75. NBA 75th anniversary team members were present. Michael Jordan was one of them. He challenged Matt Johnson to a one-on-one match when he saw him.
Oh
uh,
wow.
yeah, LeBron James and Michael Jordan embraced. This photo has gone viral on social media. NBA has reposted it, or Sports Center and ESPN reposted it with goat to goat emojis. So another
This is
topic.
one of this
Yeah,
is one of the few NBA All-Star games that I haven't caught.
yeah,
And it's been like that for actually the past couple of years because ever since they switched up the
format.
dynamics of the format with
Yeah,
the East and the West, it's kind of just been like almost lackluster to me because they can choose the teams, they get to choose however they want. And it's like even though it was kind of lopsided with the East and West because the West was so dominant and such a dominant force for years, that it was kind of like um not evenly matched up when it came down to it. But still, as far as all stars go, like yeah, the East definitely had their guys. LeBron had always been in the East, and now he's in the West. But now they don't even play the East and West anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it just seems like that format kind of just killed like the whole vibe of the All Star. And I say that because like for example, look at the dunk contest. That's something I also didn't watch this year. And that was something like, especially growing up, especially in our era, We got to see some of the best dunk contests in the early 2000s. Jason Richardson, Warriors.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a legendary Warrior right there. Vince Carter.
VC baby,
Um,
Vinsanity. Say that.
some of the dunks you've never seen before.
Yeah.
That's what you got to experience. That's what we had to experience. Now it's like, what are these guys going to do this time? It's like there's not much you can do these days. There's not much you can do these days to like blow your mind or anything. But still, it's like there is. It just depends on these guys and their creativity, how they see the hoop and everything, the ball, whatever. But I only saw the highlights on YouTube, and this last dunk contest that was a snooze fest as well. So
Sorry ass
it's
dunk
like the whole
contest.
All-Star, yeah, the
Just
whole
say it,
All-Star
man. You can just
game
say
is
it, bro.
kind of going downhill, and that
Absolutely.
sucks
Yeah.
because it used
No.
to be a fun whole weekend to look forward to. Oh yeah, like, I remember as a kid. Oh yeah, next weekend it's the All-Star game, and you can count down those days. You're waiting because before Sunday, the All-Star game, wow, Friday, you got the rookie All-Star game. And then Saturday night, you got the three-point contest, you got the dunk contest. So that whole weekend, you're looking forward to all those events. And it's like, I knew it was going on, and it's like, well, just let them play. Like, what am I missing, And that sucks for me to say because, like I said, like I was able to enjoy that. I was able to enjoy the All-Star games growing up.
Yeah.
And it sucks that they take out the spirit of that. So
I agree. I agree. And I think, the All Star game was really good 2 years ago after Kobe died. When I was actually there. I had to go watch it in
yeah,
Chicago because the team was just because they renamed the award the Kobe Bryant All Star Game MVP award. That was the first ever All Star game where they first had
yeah,
that name introduced, the trophy introduced, and it was so competitive with Kawhi, LeBron, everyone, Derrick, Katie, and then obviously the Lakers went on to go win the championship that year, right? And I love that. But I think at the end of the day, bro, I think you're right. I agree with you because, like for example, let's take the dunk contest, for example, right? LeBron hasn't participated in the dunk contest, and the dunk contest has just been going downhill. The last good dunk contest was 2015 between Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon,
yeah. That
and
one,
that's
that one's a standout one. Yep.
7 years ago. That's the
Yeah,
last good one that I can remember.
yeah,
And then when I check NBA Twitter this morning, that seemed to be the kind of consensus around the league and around fans like us.
yeah,
So to your point, I'm pretty much in lockstep with you. I mean, I don't see why, because here's the thing: people were criticizing the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl players said, if we had the Pro Bowl in the middle of the season, like the NBA players and MLB baseball players do, then we'll have a more competitive game. We won't be tired or exhausted. We won't be thinking about the off season and rehabbing your injuries, right? But then, what is the NBA's excuse? Like, what are the players' excuses for putting on that trash performance? Like I remember I watched LeBron basically dunk at home for the Lakers IG page. Literally, I don't even know who was defending him, but they weren't defending. They just let him like just take an open lane to the basket, slam it home, and then like he ran across the other side of the court. So, I mean, things like that,
yeah.
bro. Things like that.
That's how the defense seemed to be. Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even know what to say. I mean, I'm just like, why are they even like just fucking abolish the dunk contest? Like, abolish the fucking, the All Star game altogether. If you're not gonna give something entertaining, like that was just
yeah,
I mean, and I'm not saying it needs to be all defense, but give me something spectacular. Give me some like
yeah.
highlight lobs, highlight dunks.
And I saw a few. Like I said, like I didn't watch the game, but I was able to catch the highlights, and I did see the game winner that LeBron hit. That was pretty impressive, and it was in his hometown. They hosted the All-Star game in Cleveland. That was where he got drafted. That's where he grew up. He got drafted from Cleveland Cavaliers as well. So he had to make his start in his career in his hometown, which is unheard of. So he's definitely had just a almost miraculous like career. But aside from that, and back on to like the Kobe Award and how they changed that, and just to see Steph win that last night, you know, with how much did he score? He scored 50 points. He set the
50
record for
most
most
points,
three pointers made
most
in
three
the
pointers. Yeah,
NBA. Yeah, in the NBA All-Star game.
Yes,
I
sir.
think he hit 16. Oh man, like, and he's doing his thing still. Just to see him still, um, just still being as strong as ever. You know, he's gotten older and he hasn't shown any slowage of his game. So that's pretty remarkable to see and be a witness to that. Like, so more power to Steph, you know, especially being in the Bay Area as Warriors fan. So I'm hoping they can bring that trophy back home.
Yeah, I definitely hope that they don't. So.
No, they will, bro. We're
You
looking
know.
at the we're looking at records right now, so we're up there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can read that, but there's
That's Oracle Arena. We gotta get to the next one, man. We gotta go to
the
Chase
Chase
Center.
Center. Yeah, I
Yeah,
went there. I went there with Parsa 2 years ago after Kobe died because this was the last. This wasn't the last game, obviously, but this was the year you and I met, 2011.
yeah,
Lakers played the Warriors. Kobe came. That was the only time I ever saw Kobe. And
yeah,
section 223, row 14, seat 8. I
yeah.
I
We were
I, I
live
went.
there.
Yeah, I was right
Yeah,
there. I mean, I'm a Lakers fan, but like, it's just for me, like it's great to. It was great. It was great for me. I'm not sure if you saw this, but I posted on Instagram. I hit up Durrell Wright. You and Durrell Wright. I hit him up
yeah,
on LinkedIn. I'm like, hey D, like, I'm not sure if you remember me, but I got your Miami Heat jersey signed at the Warriors game. When was it? Like 10 years ago, right? And then he's like, "That's so
hmm,
dope." And then he's like, "Okay, cool." And I'm like, I'm like, "Let me find it." I showed it to him, and then he's like, "That's so dope, bro." I'm like, "I appreciate it." So I wanted
yeah,
to see if he can come on the platform. He didn't respond, which is fine. I mean, he must be busy with this with Comcast Sports in the Bay Area. But essentially, like, like you're right. Like it's just like, for me, it's like to see the team how far they've come. But I mean, I'm also the mindset where I didn't really appreciate Kevin Durant leaving to join the Warriors, like just as a basketball fan, and as a former professional athlete, because I just look at it from the standpoint of, okay, where's your competitiveness? You know,
yeah,
like, I mean,
yeah,
what do these rings mean if I have this most stacked team in the league? You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, do they mean anything at that point? No, they don't.
I know, right?
And so, but to the point, but back to it, like just to see the evolution. I mean, I really thought Steph was like the worst player ever his rookie year because he was always injured. And then it's just like, and I thought Monte was the guy, and they ended up, shipping out Monte next year. You saw Steph, become the guy, which shocked me. And then obviously the Warriors, when Steve Kerr came there, they put it all together and they ended up winning, the chip. So I mean, to the point being that, but I feel like the Warriors that we got to watch in 2010 and 2011 were drastically different than the Warriors who won those three championships in 5 years and when made five
Yeah,
NBA
yeah,
Finals.
yeah.
And so,
And that speaks of like just their growth and propensity, you know.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know if they'll bring it home. I think the Suns are still the team to beat in the West. That's just my personal
Really?
opinion
Okay.
because the best record in the West by a mile. I think they have a 7 game lead right now on the Warriors. And then they also, I mean, who's really better than the Suns right now, like in the East, like in either conference, who's better than the Suns?
Nobody right now.
Not right now, right? I mean, I'm literally just asking the
Yeah.
question to ask the question because I'm trying to think: is there a team better than Phoenix that I would say I'm gonna put my money on this team to beat them if they play in the finals or the conference finals? Like I'm not gonna, if it's the Warriors against Suns, I'm gonna bet on the Suns. If it's the Bucks and the Suns rematch from last year, I'm gonna put money on the Suns. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, but then again, Giannis has championship pedigree, and I mean, right now, one of my friends said, "Oh, the Nets. The Nets are still a team that you gotta watch out for." But the Nets are still like the ninth seed.
Well, how do you feel about that new trade?
Oh,
The
James
Nets and
Harden.
the 76ers were able to. Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
big.
no, I mean,
Didn't
I
see
think
that
this.
coming.
I didn't see
They
that
got rid
coming.
of Ben Simmons. They were actually, yeah, they actually got rid of Ben Simmons. They were looking at doing that for a long time. So
Man, I was
I know
hoping that Ben Simmons.
they were
I,
relieved.
I was hoping that Ben Simmons was gonna come to Sacramento. that
Ah,
would
yeah.
that would have been dope.
I know. Honestly, it would like just for the fuck of it, like just
Yeah.
to say we have him. That would have been a highlight just for the Sacramento Kings to say they got a
Bro, like I mean,
Ben Simmons.
bro, do you know how hyped that would have been? I would have been like,
Yeah,
I would
I
have been
would add a
buying.
jersey.
Yeah.
I would add a Simmons jersey.
I mean, God, the Kings. I think the Kings are now are they have the longest streak of not making the postseason in the NBA.
Yeah, now they got the record so
That's
far.
fuck.
Yeah, that's
Golly,
sad.
how sorry are the Kings on like a scale of like 1 to Sacramento? Like how
That's all the letters from S to Sacramento, SACRAO,
yeah,
all that shit.
yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, dude, they're pitiful.
They're pitiful, but you know what, bro? I mean, we got to watch them in the new Kings arena because I mean, I still haven't gone in yet to go
Yeah,
see a Kings
I,
game.
I I went the first year they opened it just to say I got to experience that. I was like, that's just one of the things for me. I was like, wow, they got the new arena. I was like, I gotta experience the first year it opens. If I go the second or third year, it won't be as meaningful. So I went the first year.
Yeah,
I don't even remember who they played. I kind of just walked around the whole time just to enjoy the arena. So I
that's
didn't
what's
even
up.
stay in my seat. I went around. I was buying souvenirs. I bought a jacket. I bought a shirt, a hat. Yeah, I bought all a bunch of stuff, and I was just drinking beer all day, just walking around. So and eating food. So it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean,
But
yeah.
aside
I
from that,
I mean, I just think it would have been cool because we need some like injection of like something. Like give me something to like chew on as like a Kings fan. I'm a Lakers and a
yeah,
Kings fan because I'm a fucking California sports fan. I don't
yeah,
know. Fuck it. I'm not sure what my sports allegiances are. God, that would have been. I mean,
yeah,
I want to see the fucking Sacramento Kings do well. That's what I want to see because it's just fucking sad at this point, man. Like what? C-Web, Vlade, like those days when we were kids. Like, how what the fuck happened? Like, I mean, is it that hard for what's his name, Vivek Ranadive, to get a competitive GM and a competitive roster together? Yeah, they got De'Aaron Fox, but what Marvin Bagley? I mean, what else they got? I mean, I'm just really just scratching my head,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that and then the Kings also made a trade, right?
yeah. They got an undersized backcourt, all
No.
that.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. Oh, sorry. Back to your question. The Sixers and the Nets. Who do you think won that trade?
Sixers,
I think so too.
yeah.
I
James
think so too.
Harden. It's
I
yeah.
think so too because everyone's saying, "Oh, but the Sixers gave too much depth, and the Nets are going to take."
Mhm.
Bro, have you seen the Nets play recently? They look like they don't even know what to do. Yeah, of course the Sixers got blown out by the Celtics by 48, but like I think the Sixers are going to get it together because they have not championship, but they have veteran lead. I mean, obviously the Nets have veteran leadership with championship pedigree, KD and Kyrie, but I mean that's just that mixture doesn't gel. Like two ball dominant players doesn't gel. But I think James Harden with Joel Embiid, contrary to what everyone's saying, I think that's gonna work. I'm just saying, the issue is that James Harden's not
I
catch and
think
shoot.
yeah,
They're saying that
yeah.
the issue
I
is
like the big to small like ratio they have. Like that's a center that's a true center right there in Joel Embiid and his size and his just his presence in the paint on the court. And then James Harden being a true shooting guard,
yeah,
with his
yeah,
size and everything, his dribbling, his skills. Because they've always tried to like wherever James Harden has been previously on his past teams, whatever early in his career, he's always been kind of like paired up with somebody similar to him, like almost another shooting guard, whether he was with Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. Even before that, he was with Kevin Durant with in OKC. He was with Russell Westbrook. He's never been on a team where he's had a true center. So I feel like that's definitely going to give him some kind of dynamics where they're definitely going to be able to space out the floor more because Joel Embiid can also do that. He can step out, hit the three. Um, James Harden is such a weapon at the arc, so you got to defend him there. And if he if Joel Embiid can step out to the three, they're going to space out the floor more, open up the paint more. Just pass the ball around, try to find the space, and yeah, I think like that'll definitely give him something else to work with, something new to work with. So that's promising for him. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can make out of that.
I agree. And I'm thinking that the issue people are saying that, oh, because Joel Embiid needs catch and shoot players and James Harden's not a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. But I'm
Yeah,
like, well, okay, that's fine. But I mean, he has other skill sets. You're talking about the most gifted the most offensively gifted skill player at guard in the NBA right now, right?
yeah.
I'll put my money on James Harden, Joel Embiid winning a chip over Kyrie and KD and Tobias Harris and
Oh
whoever else they
yeah,
got from Philadelphia. I mean, obviously the Philadelphia, the issue is Philadelphia. They don't have any depth, right? So I mean, maybe they have to use this offseason to retool their depth, but I really don't think that's going to be long term. I still think Sixers won the trade.
yeah,
I think Sixers won the trade.
yeah.
So,
And yeah, the city needed that
oh
after
yeah,
a disastrous loss in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, and so the hate that Ben Simmons was receiving around that time,
it
like,
actually wasn't
yeah,
the conference finals. It was the semifinals.
the semifinals, yeah,
Yeah, second round.
because then it was the Hawks and the Bucks.
Right, right.
But yeah, I know, like, just the hate that Ben Simmons was receiving around the time, everybody was trash talking him. Like, yeah, they eventually, like, Philadelphia was gonna have to find a way to get rid of him and make
Yeah,
a blockbuster trade like that, and acquire somebody in that can almost kind of like be a remedy for the losses they've accumulated over the years. So
yeah,
James Harden pretty much does that. They bring
yeah,
in such a big superstar. A lot of people are gonna just quit talking
yeah.
about Ben Simmons and just kind of like move on, just let that go.
Yeah,
So
and Ben
yeah,
Simmons. I'm not sure if Ben Simmons and KD is gonna work. That's why that's why I'm not sold. I'm not sure if Ben Simmons KD.
yeah, I don't see that working as well either. He can learn
Yeah,
some stuff from KD on the side and training and practice, but on the court, I don't see it working out too well.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the playoffs because there's so many teams that could win the East right now. You got
yeah,
Miami, you got Chicago,
yeah.
you
I'm
got
liking I'm liking the East right now.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot
I'm
more
liking the
competitive.
resurgence of Chicago. Chicago's looking like a whole new team. They got some real gunners.
Real
I,
dogs on
I
that
like
squad.
them.
Real
Yeah,
dogs, man. Nah, they
yeah, I like
definitely do.
them.
DeMar DeRozan is having a career resurgence here.
Yeah,
Obviously
yeah.
Zoe and Zach. I
Zach
mean,
Levine.
yeah, Zach. I mean, we are just talking about him for the start for dunk contest, but let's talk about his all stars. I mean, golly,
Yeah,
27.4 points per game this year. I mean, I mean, what more can be said? I mean, that's
yeah.
and with DeMar DeRozan, and
Yeah, he's been
obviously,
going off.
yeah, and then in the front court, Nikola Vucevic. I mean, what more can you say?
Yeah,
Also multiple All Star. That's a very good team. That's a very good team
yeah,
coming out of Chicago. So, and I live in that city, so I know how my teammates and friends and fan and from former coworkers feel about the Bulls. They're very excited. It's a very exciting time right now in Chicago. Miami, obviously, they're still looking like the dog ass team. Down there in South Beach. So you gotta watch out for them. You also
yeah,
gotta watch out for the actually, yeah, you gotta still watch out for the Bucks. They're
yeah,
until the king is dethroned, the king still wears the crown.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll
And
see what happens.
they're still pushing strong, man. And they're playing their style of basketball, and that works for them.
Do you remember 8 years ago you said Bucks over Clippers in 7 in 2013?
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I haven't remembered that since until now.
until
Wow.
now, yeah,
And I
but
was
but
calling those two teams. Nobody, even now, you're like, yeah, those teams would never make the finals.
but it was crazy because last year we almost got that. Think about it. We
Yeah,
almost had the
yeah,
the Clippers almost made it. The Bucks did make it, and the Bucks ended up winning. It's just against the Suns instead of the Clippers. Like, think about that. Isn't that crazy?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I never even noticed that or saw it like that until you brought it up.
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember it's just crazy. Like sometimes you might be a year early or a year too late, or but I mean sometimes we might be able to see things and just hey just but yeah, it's crazy. It would have
Yeah.
been cool if
Ah,
the
yeah.
Bucks play the Clippers. I mean, I want to see the Clippers make a finals run for Paul George and just Tyronn Lue, and even though I'm a Lakers fan, I mean I just want to see if they could do it because I mean like the Clippers are such a sorry ass franchise.
Yeah.
Like I mean it's just like man, like I mean you look at them now, the Lakers are sorry, but the Clippers are right there with the Lakers for
I
in
know.
terms of
Like it's like
sorry.
you should be there with all the talent you have.
You
So for
really
them
should
not
be
to be there is like it's even worse. It's like,
right.
well,
I
you
don't know.
guys couldn't do nothing when you guys had PG, you have Kawhi Leonard, and then you who else did they have?
Golly, I
So
can't even
many
think.
guys, man.
So many good. I have a question for you. How long do you think Kawhi's gonna last in the league?
Maybe like honestly, like less than 5 years.
I'm honestly thinking just 3
4.
years. I'm thinking
Probably
three.
3 or 3 to 4.
Actually, no, 2 to 3. Nine,
Yeah,
3 to 4.
3.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that like I'm looking at him now, and it's just like his injuries. They're just not. They're just
Yeah,
not
he's been played too much.
way too much, and it's like the load management is only gonna carry you so far. I mean, you're injured. You're injured. Your body's not good. So you
Yeah,
know,
it's not
yeah,
coming back. Yeah.
yeah. It's crazy to think LeBron might outlast Kawhi.
No, LeBron just came in just as like like a freak athlete.
Yeah,
He was just built differently. He came out of high
literally,
school like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
literally
he's
built
always been like that.
literally
Yeah,
built differently, like entirely differently, like all the way
yeah,
differently. Like what the
yeah.
fuck?
He's been playing consistently ever since he's
Yeah,
been in the league.
yeah,
So,
and he actually said that his priority in the next couple years that he wants to play on the same team as his son, Bronny.
oh wow,
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if Bronny's gonna be able to be a first overall pick. Probably not right now. I think he's ranked 43 of 49 of top 50, which isn't bad. It's still really good. But yeah. I mean, his priority is play with Bronny. So he did
yeah, that would
not
be
rule
pretty
out.
cool to see for him to play with his son. That would be
Yeah,
historical.
yeah, it'd be
That'd be
historical.
nice to
Yeah,
see.
it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And essentially, he said that he wouldn't rule out a return to Cleveland to make that happen. But, so
Okay.
yeah,
As you can see how many fathers are happy and proud to have their sons playing in the league that have played previously. Like Del Curry has 2 sons in the NBA, but to have your son in the NBA and play with him, that'd be a story of a lifetime. So that would be cool.
yeah,
Yeah. So hopefully they can make that happen.
yeah. It looks like KD can't win without Curry.
Yeah.
You got
Should
that?
have stayed in Golden State.
No, 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 no. KD can't win without Curry.
He can't win without him. Yeah.
No, no, but think about it.
KD can't win without Curry.
What were we talking about? The trade.
Yeah, KD. Yeah, KD's in
Who got traded to Brooklyn?
oh, Seth Curry. He has Seth Curry now though.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. That's funny though. I remember,
yeah,
yeah, that's funny.
yeah. Oh my
That
god.
his brother. And then the first night, yeah, Curry had a show out night.
Oh yeah,
His first night
in
in
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No,
So that was a definitely good acquisition for them.
Seth Curry is literally having his best season right now, and I think next year he'll probably be an All Star. I mean, he's playing out of his mind.
Yeah, yeah.
It was cool when we had him on the Kings. I was
I
like,
like
man,
seeing that. I know.
it was cool when he was here. I miss him.
Yeah.
It would have been cool, but at the end of the day, you gotta just kind of roll the punches. That's sports. The business of sports, business of football.
Yeah.
This is episode 78. When we get to episode 81, we'll kind of dive into my career and kind of all the pitfalls and challenges
Yeah.
I
We gotta
faced.
gotta talk more about 81, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
legacy,
Yes, sir. No, we'll get there because
where it
then
started, where it's gonna be going,
yes,
how you
sir.
see it, Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, we'll get there. Right. This is 78. The next one we'll do 79, 80. Actually, you're gonna be the first guest I think to have I've had on more than consecutive episodes. I don't think
Cool.
I've ever had someone consecutive episodes. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you definitely do that honor, my brother. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I feel privileged. I feel privileged.
yes
It's
sir,
great. It's an
yes
honor.
sir,
It
yes
is.
sir, yes sir, yes sir. It is, and all listeners out there, yes sir, deal with it. You got an issue? Deal with
Yeah.
it. This is my
Deal with
show,
it.
bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, 81
Yep. The gridiron, baby.
on
You
the
know it.
gridiron. You know it. What else? Anything else you want to talk about?
Not much, man. Not much. We can just do more catching up, maybe on another episode.
Yeah,
I
we can do
hope to be
probably.
on here pretty soon. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, we'll definitely have you back on, and yeah, no, we'll definitely kind of to cover more topics on the next one. But this is good. Obviously,
yeah.
good NBA All Star game. So in summary, NBA All Star game trash. Super Bowl great.
Yes.
And looking forward to hopefully the NBA playoffs as second half NBA season rolls out, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. And baseball season rolling around
Yeah,
coming up.
I'm not even paying attention to baseball because I
Yeah.
mean,
We knew that was just to throw out there for the other sports
because bro,
fans.
the fucking A's, man. If the A's can't get it together, why am I gonna watch?
I
What is
know
there
it.
to watch?
It hurts. It hurts just to talk about that. Like they could possibly be leaving. Yeah, I don't like
Like we
dealing
talked
with
about today
that.
with your boy Ali, right? Because when he had the A's hat on, I'm like, dude, like, man,
Yeah.
last A's game I went to, Klay Thompson was there rocking rocking the A's jersey.
Yeah.
you're my favorite Warrior, Klay, from that point onwards.
Yep.
All right, y'all. So yeah, I'm Asif, my co-host Aram Kennard. Aram, man, thank you so much for being on today. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
Great
Thank
work.
you, Asif.
Yes, sir. And
Yep. Privilege,
fans,
man.
yes, sir, 100%. You can follow Aram at Melanius MAH. Sorry, at Aram
Aaron
Bunctious.
Bunctious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ARAMBUNCTIOUS. You can follow him on
Yep.
Facebook, Aram Milan Card. I don't have Facebook, so I don't really care. You can follow the podcast on Digitally Dreaming Podcast. Follow me at asif.z.ali. Follow the podcast on Twitter, DDOG Podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, as well as Pocket Casts. Shout out to Anchor and all of our different business partners, Zone and CBD, as well as Regain Sports Drink. The jersey, for those who follow us on IG, the jersey Aaron was wearing today was keep featuring Zone and CBD and Regain Sports Drink, courtesy of AB Sportswear. And that's pretty much it. So, obviously everyone hope everyone has a safe President's Day weekend. Yeah, and hopefully everyone gets back to work tomorrow in tip-top form. No breaks.
Oh yeah. No
Hell yeah,
breaks.
no breaks, baby. No days off. 81,
No
baby.
days off. Never.
Never.
81
Never.
forever, baby.
81 forever. My brother, anything else? Final thoughts? Or we'll just close out the episode.
I'm closing out, man. One love to you, brother.
One love, brother. All right, bro. Take care. Good night. God bless. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
You too, man. Thank you. God bless.
God bless.